A great game, but I feel almost like you have to apologize because I don't think that we should have won that game. I thought they outplayed us in a lot of ways, but that's the way it goes. I mean, I've had one against them about 9 or 10 years ago that certainly went that way. So it comes and goes.
Kirby never forgets, right? I actually had to double check to make sure I heard Kirby Smart say that correctly post-game, but he did, and he's right. It took some late-game offensive heroics, that missed kick, and an overtime score to beat the Volunteers for the 9th straight time in a game that lived up to the hype and that incredible atmosphere at Neyland Stadium. Part of an insane sports weekend for our area teams, both the Dawgs and Tech, massive winners on Saturday, but we begin in Knoxville as Sports Extra continues this evening. Gabe and Caleb still alongside me to talk some ball. A lot to unpack after a bunch of awesome games for this weekend, and people are trying to continue to unpack what is good and what's bad about Georgia's quarterback. Gunnar Stockton had a lot of questions coming into this game. It was interesting. They talked about the air yards thing, went deep the very first play. What questions were answered about Gunnar's performance on Saturday?
He's not along for the ride. He can win this team games. I mean, he's like the questions about throwing deep. The poise that he showed, I mean, the 4th down touchdown, I mean, particularly that, I mean, that was, possibly the play of the game. I was so impressed. And in an environment that's, I mean, I know people get tired of hearing about the Neyland environment, but that is as hard as it gets. Georgia seems to be the only team that goes in there and wins. So if you're a Georgia fan, you have to be incredibly encouraged by Gunnar. Everything you saw, just how he handled himself, how the team rallied, the plays that he can make with his feet, the timely throws. I feel like there were a lot of questions answered, and in a positive way.
23 of 31, 304 yards passing, 2 touchdowns passing, also ran for a touchdown as well. Very impressive performance. Like you said, that environment was absolutely insane. Meanwhile, the defense gave up 41 points. They did look lost at times. I will say some of that just came from a lot of deep balls, and that's kind of what this defense has kind of been saying as well. How much of the defensive issues were based off of what Georgia needs to get better at? And how much was it based off of what Tennessee does, as their offense is a little bit different than a lot of other teams?
Yeah, I think you've got to give some credit to Josh Heupel and the things that he is able to draw up offensively. I mean, Joey Aguilar, the reason why they wanted to go get him and do this trade with Nico and UCLA was to get a guy who can sling the ball around. I think it's easy for fans to look at a Dalen Everett and Ellis Robinson and go, oh, you guys got burnt. But I think Kirby Smart was pretty adamant that, hey, our safeties have got to be in their right positions, otherwise we're not giving up some of these big plays. So, kind of tough to see defensively, but at least they held it together.
Dawgs came back from 14 points, their largest comeback in a road SEC game since 2004.